What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to talk some football. We're going to talk about the landscape of running backs. With James White, I'm going to mention a lot about how he's a receiving back and how we're starting to see a lot of running backs in the league that's starting to become, the McCaffreys of the world. We're starting to see, once upon a time, Le'Veon Bells of the world. Matt Forte, once upon a time, that was one of my favorite running backs. That was a rusher, also a receiving back. My guy, James White, with New England right now. Too bad. It sucks that he's injured, but, with James Conner, we're seeing an explosion with him offensively and just looking at how much he can do on the field, not just being a Southwest runner, but also being a receiving back, catching plays from the backfield and making players miss, and just seeing his explosiveness. And it's really incredible to see how, certain players, they can, people look at a player and, with James Conner, the way he kind of went out, I know a lot of people like Stephen A. Smith was kind of saying how he wasn't good. And, and due to health reasons and the offensive line for the Steelers, there was just the circumstances for James Conner wasn't good. And obviously with Le'Veon Bell being their franchise player, taking a backseat to Le'Veon Bell. I believe Le'Veon Bell probably played over 60% of their offensive snaps when he was in Pittsburgh. So with James Conner not really getting enough shine and just allowing him to just only be in between the tackle runner, I think Conner is more than that. And obviously with what we're seeing with the Cardinals, he is flourishing at his best. I think him and Chase Edmond, the way that they're a two-way combo running back, Edmond with the speed, and then Conner, he doesn't have breakaway speed, but he's a hard physical runner, and that's something that this Cardinals team needs, especially when it comes to goal line set. It's always good to have that power runner, and that's what James Conner is. He's a power runner that can make. I look at him as a playmaker, and just looking at those, the game against the Rams with that one hand grab. I mean, this guy is incredible, and I just think a lot of people kind of. Just left him in the dark. This guy was a free agent for a while. Looking at his contract now, he's only signed to a 1-year deal for $1.7 million. I mean, he's only, he doesn't have a big contract. It's almost like he's rejuvenating his career. And, we're going to just see where everything goes with him being with this Cardinals team. It's really special to see what he's doing and being with this offense with Kyler Murray and the weapons that they have. And I think James Conner is going to be the big focal point to see how far this team actually goes in the playoffs. I think James Conner is going to be an X factor for this team. I know we talk about DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. He's definitely having an MVP season. I'm loving the way he's playing, but I think James Conner in the backfield is just going to change the whole dynamic. It's going to force, defenses to also not focus, on the receiving side, but also, at tailback, defenses are going to try to, stop this 1-2 punch with Edmond. These two guys are really good runners. So, with James Conner, I think we're starting to see a lot more running backs in this climate that's becoming more receiving backs. Like I mentioned, James White, Le'Veon Bell, Christian McCaffrey. And, I think that's the greatest perk for running backs. And I hope that this, the landscape of running backs, I hope that continues to change and we start to see more running backs be more explosive from the backfield and not just be a runner. And, that's just one big takeaway I want to say. My question for you guys is, where do you see the NFL? Where do you see the climate of running backs? As far as, are we seeing, I think we're seeing a lot more running backs that are being more effective in the backfield with being receiving backs, and then there's just the old school type of runners like Derrick Henry. But, tell me what you guys think about the climate of running backs. And, there's just a lot of running backs that have their times and, they have their 3-year span. And, the running back is a hard position, but kudos. Again, I'm kind of going off the topic, but I'm just really impressed with what, the Cardinals are doing with James Conner. They're using him effectively. He's flourishing at his best. And as of right now, he's having, a career year right now. Right now he has 14 total touchdowns. He has 661 yards rushing. He has 179 rushing attempts. So he's definitely getting a lot of handoffs. He's definitely being more involved in his offense. And he's doing way much better than he was when he was in Pittsburgh. Like I said, being behind Le'Veon Bell, being banged up, and just that offensive line wasn't good. And, looking at the Steelers, they're kind of getting exposed. It just seems like when players leave the Steelers, it seems like players get better and they flourish in other places. So, James Conner, he's having an unbelievable season. And there's multiple games where he scored more than one touchdown. I'm looking against early in the season against the Jaguars. He scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Early in the season against the Rams, he scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Against the Packers, he scored 2 touchdowns. The 49ers, he scored another 2 touchdowns. And then last week against the Rams, he scored another 2 touchdowns, and with a career high of 9 receptions. I mean, he had a great game. But just looking how dynamic he is, this Cardinals team, he can definitely be an X factor heading into the playoffs. There's 4 games left. I know they're going to make a strong push, but James Conner, if he can stay healthy and just everything that he's doing, I think a lot of teams are going to have to worry not only about Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, and AJ Green and all those guys, but also James Conner and just how physical of a runner he is and just what he can do from the backfield. But with that being said, guys, I just want to just shed some light on James Conner. This guy's playing great football, and I think he's going to be a big, impactful player moving forward for this Cardinals team, just because he can do it all. There's nothing he can do. There's no weaknesses, and it just shows, one team's trash is another team's treasure, and it's all about how to utilize a player. What is his skill set? What is his skill level? And James Conner, he has good hands and he can catch the football. So why not use him? And a lot of I know the Steelers use them for screenplays and stuff, but he's more than just a running back that can just run between the tackles, and we're starting to see that. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to stretch out this video for you guys, but if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'm going to continue to make more NFL videos, talk more about players that's on the come up. I don't want to talk too much about the mainstream players. I want to kind of shed light on players that are on the come up, or, just certain stories, So with that being said, guys, have a good day. See you guys in my next video. Stay safe and peace out.